Welcome into Dragon Ball Super Dope. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. I'm joined today by my friends Marcus. Marcus, how are you, man?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fucking terrific. Don't you hear it in my voice? Leonard, my co-host for these monthly manga reviews. Leonard, how the hell are you doing?
I'm waiting for depression to hit.
Oh, you mean in regards to Vegeta getting the eventual boning? You know it's
Yep.
gonna be coming. You're gonna
Yep.
getting ready for the oncoming depression.
Yep. I've prepared myself.
Word. I'm so ready for that depression. I've already hit it deep. So hit it deep. Sounded worse than I meant it. Listen, we're going to talk about Chapter 73, Goku versus Granolah, in just a few minutes. But we had a couple bits of news in the Dragon Ball world this week that I thought it would be worth running through real quick. The first of which was a promotional animation that came out for the, I believe it's pronounced Annecy Festival. And that is basically an animation festival in Japan. 60th anniversary, I believe. Did I say 60th? Well, if I didn't, I said it now. They made a Dragon Ball Super quick little promo video. It was real cute. Just Goku and his family checking out fireworks. Vegeta at a party, looking awfully upset. I believe Trunks was on a boat of some sort. And all of the animation was done in the Shintani character design style that we had in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Boys, did you see this animation and what did you think of it? Leonard, we'll go with you first.
Well, to tell you what happened or how I got to it was I went on Twitter and I saw it said new Dragon Ball Super promo video. And
you shit yourself. I shit myself.
I definitely did. I was in bed and I was like, I got out of my bed. I was like, this is it. This is the moment. We have been waiting for so long. And I was like, Kyle's going to be so excited. Everyone's going to be so excited. I'm going to have a raging boner that's going to last for a week, maybe 2 if possible. No, wow. I did not take Viagra, but I was hugely disappointed. Call it blue balls, I guess. And it was just straight up sadness. But I mean, it looked great. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Exactly. Marcus, what'd you think, dude?
I liked it. I liked it for what it was worth. Any kind of new animation that we get, especially in that Shintani style, is top tier in my book. I need more of that at all times. Mm-hmm. I think I said this in the Discord earlier this week, but I feel like that art style is perfect for Dragon Ball. It's a very light, kind of almost a bouncy feel, but then it's impactful enough in those fight moments where it can really bring some viciousness. But it just in general, it's got this kind of lightheartedness to it that I really love. The lines aren't as sharp. It's not as aggressive to look at the entire time. And I think the character designs are perfect. And that's what I want to see going forward is, do they continue to use that Shintani art style, or do they switch it up, maybe go with something else? I think they alluded to it when the movie news dropped, that they were going to try to do something maybe a little different. But I hope that they stick with it.
Yeah, so actually that did come out and was confirmed this week as well, that they are going to be using that same art direction with the Shintani style for the next movie in 2022. That was confirmed not today, yesterday. So
I am a happy man.
Hot off the presses, motherfucker. As somebody who's been watching the early Dragon Ball movies a lot the last few weeks, like way more than I actually meant to, like I accidentally watched some of those early movies like 3 times over the course of 4 days. Man, anyway, those podcasts are coming up real soon, right after the 4th of Kurai. That's the joke from my Portuguese friends. After the 4th of July, we'll be having those first couple of Dragon Ball movies dropping. But as somebody who's been watching those very recently, a lot of the words that you just used to describe the Shintani style, I feel kind of apply to the early Dragon Ball style as well. Like a little bit more round. It's a little bit less harsh. It's a little bit less rigid. It's almost like a reimagining of what that art style might look like if Toriyama didn't ever get super I don't know how to describe it. I guess basically they have those Yamamuro character designs for what they use in the movies, and so much of that dictated what the overall appearance was in the anime. Partially influenced the manga as well. I could have just made all that up. I don't really know, but in my brain, that's how they link. This could be like a reimagining of what that early Dragon Ball style would look like if it stayed consistently in that ballpark, throughout the 15, 20 years through Dragon Ball Z. So I think it's pretty cool to see. I am excited to see what this movie will look like. But that actually kind of perfectly brings us to our next little bit of news is that in V Jump this month, with Chapter 73 for Dragon Ball Super coming out, they also gave us a little promotional scan teasing the 2022 movie. And it was a picture of Broly, pretty much prominently highlighted. Certainly no confirmation that he's going to be involved in this next film, but, he still could be. We don't know. And there was a little bit of a teaser or a tagline for it that's kind of meant to get us excited and wondering about what direction this movie could take. Basically something to the effect of a new history will be written in the theatrical Dragon Ball Z movie release, Dragon Ball movie release. So a new history will be written. That could mean a couple of things to me. I'll go first. I don't know if you guys have any spitball theories, but thinking about it the last couple of days, one, it could be an indication that they plan to have this movie take place outside of the canon for Dragon Ball Super manga. That'll be the new timeline, quote unquote. Two, there could be a story that involves some kind of time travel. Maybe that would involve future Trunks, or maybe something, basically taking that idea and going one step further with it. Number three, what if they were to do a Super Dragon Ball Heroes movie? And it was like the Time Patrol, Goku and Vegeta running around with Goku and Vegeta from the Dragon Ball Super continuity for those guys to solve some kind of big time crime. Those were some of my initial thoughts. Marcus, do you have any big brain ideas on what this could be?
I'm all in on the idea of doing like a Dragon Ball Heroes type movie. Don't know if it has to be Dragon Ball Heroes. It could be even a Dragon Ball Super kind of spinoff, like you alluded to with your first thought, where they kind of break off and do their own movie timelines. But I like the idea of the feature films not really connecting to the manga or to the anime itself, because I think it gives them more creative freedom. The original Dragon Ball movies, Dragon Ball Z movies, didn't interrupt the canonical timeline at all either. We got some cool things. We got some cool new characters and some interesting plot threads that came about, but they were very to the point, and it was very action heavy. And that's what I like to see in the movies. And I'm not as familiar with other anime movies in general. I've seen the My Hero movies. I know that they somewhat fit into the timeline. They're kind of referenced, but not really. Some of the materials that they gain are kind of crossed over, but it's a very weird dynamic. And I want them to be able to have the creative freedom to do whatever they want. I don't want them to be shoehorned into a specific timeline where they have to create stories in certain with certain time frames. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
No, but a movie where there's some time travel involved would allow them to operate outside of those realms for sure. I'm trying to look for the tweet right now in case you see me looking down on the screen. Somebody had pointed out on Twitter that in conjunction or like in relation to this entire movie campaign, the last time they did Dragon Ball Z Broly, or Dragon Ball Super Broly rather, they highlighted and re-released in the movies through Fathom events here in the States, and also did it in Japan as well. They re-released Fusion Reborn in the first Broly movie in theaters. So I believe somebody pointed out, and I can't remember exactly which ones it was, but I remember that one of them at least was the Turles movie, The Tree of Might,
Yeah.
That was one of the movies that I guess somebody thought was considered featured or prominently highlighted within this ad. And that could be an indicator as to if it's going to repeat at all based off of how they did it last time with re-releasing two old movies to be able to take two things that were very popular in the old Dragon Ball movies and bring them into a new one and make it popular. Maybe Turles could be one of those. It kind of would make sense for the idea of them wanting to continue to expand the realm of Saiyans within the universe, especially if they do plan to maintain that this timeline is canon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. You could do some things with Universe 6 Saiyans there as well, if they really wanted to explore that avenue.
True.
Um, there's a lot going on.
Uh, Leonard, what do you got? Any crazy big brain? Nothing? Maybe? I don't know. I'm just fucking spitballing. I'm grasping at straws, man. I don't know.
I I had a thought, but to me, I was like, it made no sense. My thought was that this would be like a very interesting way to bring Zamasu in a sense back, because if you remember from the arc, that Zamasu did end up seeing Goku switching bodies with Goku in a different timeline, and then killing him, and you know taking over his body for the rest of the time.
Hmm.
They never really said when exactly, so could be like a whole time loophole thing, whatever it may be. But it'd be interesting to see if maybe like I don't know, maybe he's trapped. Zamasu's trapped inside Goku's body for like hundreds of years or whatever, and went through like a different time warp sort of thing. Comes back into the universe, and he's pretty much like in a sense like I would like to incorporate it with your idea as well, where they do bring out Turles, but he's not necessarily Turles Zamasu using the Tree of Might,
Oh, you think like Zamasu
so that
bringing
he
in the
could,
idea of the tree might?
yeah, so he could keep like a godly figure in a sense and
Yeah,
something like that.
forever snacking on that god fruit. So I found the tweet. It says, Yassine the Magic Man got no jams. Let's see who this is from. It is interesting that the Turles, Cooler, and Fusion Reborn movies are being promoted with this movie. The Bardock Special, Fusion Reborn, and Z Broly were promoted for DBS Broly, so it makes me wonder. So that's the original tweet. So Turles, Cooler, and Fusion Reborn. So will we get a Gogeta in the next movie again? Will we get Cooler? And will we get Turles? Turles and Cooler working together actually kind of makes a lot of sense,
Hmm.
especially if you have Turles operate in that capacity of like Cooler's armored squad. Especially now that Vegeta, Goku, and Frieza have like this little trio kind of fucking chemistry going, accidentally, albeit. Um, that would actually kind of be a funny way to kind of flip it on its head because Cooler and Frieza hate each other as well.
Yeah.
Turles being his mean ass planet pirate self, trying to just plant the tree of might. Some ooh, did I just call? Will I be vindicated in next year, 2022?
I do like the idea that maybe that what they're trying to do with these super movies is pulling from the past. They're taking all of those ideas that they had in the Dragon Ball Z movies and putting them maybe into the timeline, re-imaging them and putting them back into the timeline and trying to make some of those things canon. Maybe that's what they're trying to do by reintroducing those concepts, but refreshing them and doing them a little bit different. Maybe they're trying to get those characters into this main universe.
What it makes me wonder is when the TV show does come back, right? Because the difference now is that the Broly movie is acknowledged in the manga, but it's like literally one page, like
Yep.
maybe even just one panel. And it's from a Broly promotional manga, but it's like stitched into whatever chapter that is to let them know that this happened. And then it launches into, Galactic Prisoner Moro arc.
Yeah.
Um, Before that, we'd wondered, are they going to put the Broly movie into the manga, or when the anime does come back, are they going to adapt that like they did the first
Yeah.
two Dragon Ball Super movies? It's kind of makes me wonder, like when the anime does come back, will they readapt these movies and then do the arcs? Because if that's the case, right, you've got now a Broly arc that you could probably stretch into 10 to 15 episodes. You've got the Planet Eater Moral arc, and now you've got at least half of the Granolah arc if you were to bring the show back tomorrow. That is a decent amount of story runway. That makes me think that they don't plan to readapt the movies because they wouldn't need it. I guess it's there if they need it, but I feel like maybe they're going to tie the two things together by meeting the anime, manga, and movie timelines, not by having one medium being retooled in another, but just kind of like acknowledging amongst the three of them that the movies happened, this character was there, and the potential for those characters from the movies to cross over in the anime will be like the thing that kind of keeps us wondering if we'll get to see that. I could be completely off base with that, but it's something that I wonder about. What are we going to do with these movies when the show does come back?
We won't know until we know.
We don't know until we know, says the Marcus man. He's so common sense, man. Man, with the plan.
Super dope.
Super dope. All right, so let's do chapter 73, Goku versus Granolah. I always want to just write his name down as G because, you know, Granolah is a kind of a longish name to write when you're writing it versus Goku. So I say this basically every single month. I'll give my initial reaction off the top for this chapter, but what sucks about these, especially action-heavy chapters, is they give us several pages to go get excited about a week prior, and you're like, oh shit, it's going to be a real action-heavy chapter. Go figure. In a Dragon Ball story, that's so strange. So we kind of already get a decent idea of what'll happen in the chapter. And then we know, though, they haven't given us everything. A few days before the full chapter drops, they give us a little bit more. And they're like, yeah, Vegeta is going to have to get involved and say these things to Granolah and get excited. And by the time I see those last spoilers, I'm like, shit, what am I even going to read this chapter for? What am I going to learn? And usually there's something good in there that kind of keeps me interested. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't expect that. This month, I don't think I had that moment. Like everything that happened, I sort of expected to happen, both through context of previous beats of the story and through these spoilers. I knew Goku was going to get the fucking piss kicked out of him. That said, though, the action sequences were done pretty fucking well. They were very entertaining. I guess if I had to give it an overall, like, 1 to 10, I'm going like a 7. This was a pretty fun chapter. Leonard, would you give it on a 1 to 10, and what were your thoughts?
It was a very solid chapter. The paneling, the consistency of the paneling, the fights, and everything was done, in my opinion, perfectly. They did it in a perfect way, and they were telling the story, I feel like, in a way where it was beautifully written to the point where Dragon Ball was like, hey, we know we've been like hyping something up. Here you go. We actually give it to you now instead of giving you like 30 other chapters to read through and then finally getting to it.
Good point. But that makes me think that you think this is already toward the end of the arc. This is
it's not necessarily towards the end of the arc at all.
No, this is like the end of Act 1 of this arc. I think.
Exactly. And for me, it's like I felt like there was a little bit of inconsistency, but I guess when we get to that point, I'll say my inconsistency.
Okay.
But it's mainly with Vegeta, but I thought it was a pretty good chapter to the ending, so I give it a 6 out of 10.
Word bird, 6 out of 10. That's my friend Marcus. What you got?
I really like this chapter. I would probably give this chapter a 7.5 to an 8 out of 10.
Ooh.
I actually really liked it. I liked the action sequences. I really liked that they gave us a new set piece where they were battling it out in the forest area.
Oh, the forest moon of Endor, you mean?
Yeah.
They're copying Star Wars. They're copying Star Wars at this point.
Dude, I've said it a bunch of times in this arc. They've lifted so many Star Wars ideas from like visual things or like little, characters things like the fucking 7-3 clones and all that shit, the Dark Trooper robots. And they borrowed a bunch.
The first 2 panels are basically them just on speeder bikes rolling through the trees. So
100%. Yeah. I was like, yo, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, is that you guys in a Dragon Ball comic book?
But I actually really liked it. It's not something that we see in Dragon Ball very often. Usually, it's a very barren wasteland, mountains, maybe a few trees here and there, but you never really get that densely populated forest area like that. So I was really interested that they changed the biome and they were kind of battling it out in this new area. And that brought a different dynamic for Granolah as well. We saw him use his scarf as almost like an Aizawa, it's My Hero Academia kind of thing, or a
Yeah.
Spider-Man kind of thing. He was using his scarf sort of like a web for Spider-Man. So some of those influences definitely leaked through, but um, I thought the pacing, as Leonard said, was really good throughout. Very action heavy at the beginning, and then it kind of gave us some dialogue and story progression towards the middle, and then gave us something to look forward to at the very end. And I feel like they did a really good job of leaving me with something that I wanted at the very end of this chapter to look forward to for next month. So I thought overall this was a really good chapter and it was very strong. I give it an 8.
So getting back to that Aizawa rap that you just mentioned, I thought the same exact thing. But what's even stranger is, again, watching these old Dragon Ball movies, watching that Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle movie the other night. They fight this big red fat demon dude who actually I'm convinced is the initial inspiration for the Bukujutsu sky dancing technique in Dragon Ball, and is like the reason that Tien and Chaozu are able to levitate the way they are. This dude straight up takes these two big energy blasts, plants them under the fucking palms of his feet, or soles of his feet, and chases Goku on his Nimbus Cloud for like a solid 5-minute Looney Tune action sequence. It's hilarious. But that big motherfucker, he first comes in with these two big balls with like these sticks coming out of them. They're solid, swinging them around, trying to smash Krillin and Goku with them, smash them with his balls. And he loses them eventually. But then he has the same kind of ribbon or wrap or whatever that Shoto Aizawa or Granolah apparently has. And I was like, man, it's weird to see the Aizawa wraps in a movie from 1987 or 1988 or whatever.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he did. Person who writes My Hero is a huge fan, obviously, of Dragon Ball.
Got a secret for
He
you,
is,
Leonard. Everybody is.
yeah, and it's funny because like people forget that. Like everyone thinks, oh, Superman. Nope, it's Goku.
Yep.
It's supposed to be Goku.
And if you don't know what we're talking about there, you should go check out the Goku versus Superman versus All Might podcast from, I want to say like October-ish 2019, maybe. That's one of my favorite episodes we've done on Super Dope in a long time. Those three characters are all muddled up all the time, and there is a definitive lineage, and everyone just automatically connects All Might and Superman. And I said, no, fuck that. There's a step in between, and his name is Son Goku, and you need to respect your elders. Toshinori Yagi. Super Dope Plus Ultra now available wherever you get your podcasts. Kelly did a solo episode this week. She did a great job. Okay. 12 pages of straight up action for this chapter in the first 12 pages, right? We see the scarves. I can't believe we just went off on that much of a tangent on a scarf. And by we, I mean I. One thing that kind of irked me a little bit, especially when I read it the second time through, is the idea of Super Saiyan Blue with Ultra Instinct. So he transforms into that at the end of this 12-page action sequence and is like, hey, you can't fuck around with me anymore, pal. Watch this. And I was fine with it at first, right? I'm like, cool, Super Saiyan Blue and Ultra Instinct. That's great. And then he proceeds to get his ass whooped. And he has to teleport away and eventually comes back as perfected or mastered Ultra Instinct, however you want to look at it, with the silver hair. And all I could think to myself was like, okay, so we can't just call it Ultra Instinct anymore. We have to just differentiate between Ultra Instinct and Mastered Ultra Instinct, even though I felt like we were maybe already past this, right? So now I've seen you use Super Saiyan Blue with Ultra Instinct, and I know that perfected Ultra Instinct is better than that Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct. So when am I going to see you use Super Saiyan Blue with perfected Ultra Instinct was my first thing. And in my brain, that opened up an entire fucking chain reaction of a bunch of bullshit transformation combinations that eventually ended with Super Saiyan Blue with perfected Ultra Instinct Kaioken times 20.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous to me, the fact that they had to go so far as to differentiate between those two things. And I hope it's something that they do not continue to do. Like, you did it the one time, let it be a step in like the progression of, you know, perfecting this perfected Ultra Instinct thing. If you want to stack it on top of a Super Saiyan transformation, very cool, that's fine. But like, don't do it with two different versions of the Ultra Instinct. Like, it's one or the other, man. And don't give me two different transformations, or don't open up the possibility of having those two different transformations, you know? I don't know. Did this irk anybody else as much as me, or what? Probably
I
not.
don't have a problem with it. I have not had an issue with this from the get-go. I think they did a really good job of distinguishing the Ultra Instinct as a technique, not really much of a transformation. Now they're putting Mastered Ultra Instinct as almost a full-on transformation, but I would venture to say that they'll probably flesh that out at some point. Maybe not. I would hope so, but I don't get worked up over adding Ultra Instinct onto the Super Saiyan transformations at all.
Me either, but then to go so far as there's like a difference between Ultra Instinct, because it used to be just like Ultra Instinct Omen, right? And that was when he had the dodging and not the offensive capabilities. And that signaled a progression in the mastery of this next transformation or technique, or however you want to, you know, classify it, right? Ultra Instinct Omen was that between thing. And even though I liked that transformation visually better than the actual silver haired Ultra Instinct,
I agree.
I thought that was going to be a one and done. They've since brought back Omen for some reason in the manga, just to kind of do the same things, to sort of allude to the fact that he's not very good with perfected Ultra Instinct, I guess. But the fact that remains a transformation that he might be able to tap into if he needs to at any given time, it's like, all right, am I going to get a master? Am I going to get an Ultra Instinct Omen with a Super Saiyan 3? Like, I'm trying to think of like weird fucking combinations of things that it would make absolutely no sense to put them together. But the fact that this is the precedent that they're maybe setting, like an unnecessary precedent, maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with it. Leonard, you have any venom and hate to spit? Or are you all good in the hood too? Good in the hood makes it sound like it's a black person thing. My bad.
Well, definitely something I was thinking about when you said about all those combinations. It made me think about, for some reason, like, this is a fast food place, and it's like, welcome to Dragon Ball Toriyama. Can I get you a Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct with the side of Kaioken fries?
You want grilled onions? Do you want raw onions?
I prefer garlic.
Sauteed mushrooms? Yeah,
I prefer some garlic on the side.
We're basically a Taco Bell at this point. We have the same 5 items, but we package them in 20 different things.
Exactly.
Oh man, I really want Taco Bell now that you brought it up, dude. Go figure. Me wanting a Taco Bell, go figure.
Get that Baja Blast.
I'm actually not big on Baja Blast, man. I'll get a Diet Mountain Dew. I'll get a Diet Mountain Dew if I go there. I don't do very well with soda with sugar in it. My stomach gets all fucked. But Diet Mountain Dew, I'll fuck with that all day.
Shout out to Baja Blast.
Baja Blast, the Freezy, top tier. But I actually wasn't mad at this. I think it's very interesting that they're doing it this way. Because one thing I always go back to is whenever someone says, oh, like Ultra Instinct, like this, and that, like, why is he using it with other forms? Well, we said for Whis, he's always in it. For Goku, he treats it as a transformation instead of just letting it be. Like, this is him. He's always in Ultra Instinct. Like,
so Whis is also Whis. All right, well, I'm sorry, but you just made me think of something. I'll cut you off right there to say, so Whis is always in Ultra Instinct, quote unquote. Then someday, if Whis ever has to fight another angel or like El Padre Grande or some such shit, and then he goes into mastered or perfected Ultra Instinct, we'll notice the white hair that Whis has gets silver, and he gets crazy fucking stronger than he already is. Like, because if that's the way that we're going to classify these two things, I can almost get behind that, but I don't know if Goku intends to. I don't think
they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. I think the reason why is because if you think about it, the way that they put it for Whis already and for the other angels is that they're always in Ultra Instinct. They don't want to fuck with that and say, okay, now we have mastered Ultra Instinct, or Ultra Instinct 2, or Ultra Instinct 2.5, whatever it may be.
No.
But
But for them to be able to say we're always in Ultra Instinct, and then just to have them be like super passive and just trying to eat gelatos and shit, and then have another level they kick it up to when they have to get serious and actually fight, which is something we've not really yet to see, which I don't know if we ever will see. I mean,
we saw a tiny bit. I mean,
Mira.
Broly movie.
yeah, Whis just was throwing up pinkies and shit. Like, leave me alone.
Exactly.
And El Padre Grande broke up the fight between a couple of gods of destruction, leading up to the Tournament of Power with basically the same fingers,
And we got to see Mira's fight, Moro.
That's true,
Mira's
but
he was an angel in training, but
yeah, with a terrible fucking haircut, but to boot.
come on, don't hate on the haircut.
No, haircut sucks. Worse than my
I had
haircut.
one.
Well, I'm sorry your parents
That's why
didn't
we
love
call
you.
you Mirrors Woods.
I forgot that we used to do. Oh my god, dude, that was like a 1 month thing. We let it go. Never mind. Oh, guess you just got renamed in the Discord.
Shout out to Reese for bringing that back.
Oh, Maris Woods. Great call, Reese. Reese is on like a party boat or something right now with
He's probably drinking. He's just like, I heard it.
Yeah.
he's always just drinking something, but he's got excuses this week because he's got friends visiting from out of town. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll catch up with him next month. But Maris Woods, yeah. If you want to join the Discord, there's a link in the show notes.
Yeah.
Go talk shit with us and call Marcus Maris. It's fun.
Yeah, and at me as Dispo, because I'm fast as fuck.
Yeah.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Boy. Word. All right. Well, I'm glad that you guys aren't as upset about this as I am. I'm sure that I'll learn to deal with it, but also like, bruh, I'm fucking buy too many toys already. What, you got something else, man?
I didn't even finish my thought though.
Oh, my bad.
But what I was trying to say, no, it's good. But what I was trying to say was that I think what they're gonna do is that Goku's still trying to treat it in a sense like it's an actual form. Because think about it, he's still doing it in the context of, oh, Super Saiyan, okay, Super Saiyan God, but with Ultra Instinct, Super Saiyan with Ultra Instinct. Like,
and
he's still
Vegeta does make a comment like that, like, yo, you're gonna get your ass whooped. You keep thinking about, I think it was last chapter he says that to him.
Exactly. And in this moment, or where the chapter ends, it sort of brings that perfect mark where literally and figuratively that Goku's like, shit, I realize I did this for too long. I need to stop being Goku and take it serious.
Yeah.
And I think what they're gonna do is eventually bring it to the point where it says there's gonna be like a Omen and a Mastered. Is that it's just gonna be, you know what? This is Ultra Instinct. Like it's gonna be a badass thing where he's fighting whoever or whatever's gonna happen at the end. He's gonna be like, this is Ultra Instinct, and call it a day and all that.
I hope so. I hope that they kind of solidify like the steps in between and just be like, yo, either you're using Ultra Instinct or you're not. None of this mastered, regular Ultra Instinct Omen. If you want to use it on top of a Super Saiyan form, that's fine. But figure out your Ultra Instinct, son. That's what I'm really hoping for. This actually ends up kind of costing Goku in this fight because eventually him and Granolah come face to face. He gives him a big old Kamehameha to his thorax. At the same time, though, Granolah does hit one of his vital points and knocks his ass out as well. So it's not quite a double KO, but I would say Goku got the worst of it, especially considering what we learned about Granolah a little bit later in the chapter. Goku does let them know that, this happened because I'm not used to having Ultra Instinct in the Super Saiyan form. Still getting used to it or whatever. And Granolah basically vows to, get his revenge on the Saiyans. And Goku's like, Nani? He looks kind of confused to learn that his intentions are revenge against the Saiyans. But the fight continues, and this is probably the next notable thing I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on. He vows his revenge, and he's going to kill a motherfucker, obviously, because he's, the villain, right? And he uses this technique that is very similar to what Planet Eater Moro used eventually when he fuses with the Earth and just has this huge, big blast of energy like shoot up out from anywhere randomly in the Earth. Granolah does that. Just has this big old blast erupt from underneath Goku and shoots him, propels him up toward the sky. Um, Goku's in, I believe, Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct at that point. Or, yeah, he is. And he's at the top of that blast, and he uses instantaneous movement to lock onto Vegeta and teleport back to Vegeta standing in the midst of a big footprint. I'm gonna say like monkey paw, but that's not it. I guess it's a Ozaru footprint, not a monkey footprint, because monkey footprints would be much smaller, right? He uses instantaneous movement to lock onto Vegeta and teleports back there. And he says to him, like, yo, that move was just like Moro's. That was so strange. So when I first saw it visually, I thought the same thing, like, wow, that's almost the exact same visual cue that they used in the last arc when shit got real with Moro. Hopefully, this isn't some kind of uninspired recycling going on here. Turn the page, perfectly paced, plotted out chapter this month, in my opinion. Turn the page and they say the same thing, like that was Moro's move. So it makes me think that it's definitely intentional. And I don't know, I have this big brain far fetched theory that basically due to the wish that Granolah made with this two set of Dragon Balls that we don't really know, what kind of powers they do or don't have or whatever. I'm thinking that this wish might work in a way in which, if somebody else achieves some level of power in the universe, Granolah also has that plus more. And that would explain to me, this was my theory going back to last month or the month previous, where he's teleporting faster than Goku and has literally no idea why. Like he can't explain it either. He's just kind of doing what he's doing. A lot of what they kind of convolutes this idea is the fact that he's got this sniper eye, so he can like see everything in super slow motion and identify vital points and all that. But I do also wonder if, especially when he uses a technique like Goku's teleportation and now Planet Eater Moro's like enveloping from the fucking ground blast, whatever the heck it would be called, I don't know. It makes me think that there's some kind of breadcrumbs there that we're supposed to be following. I could just be looking a little bit too strongly at some Dragon Ball manga. Always a possibility as well. What did you guys think of the comment that Goku makes about it being a Moro move?
Yeah, I didn't really read too much into it. I know that it's there for a reason. What that reason might be is it's kind of lost on me. I didn't really put two and two together, to be honest with you. It was just kind of a throwaway line for me. But all at the same time, now that you've referenced back to him using the instantaneous movement, the instant transmission before, and it was even faster than Goku, he said, and wasn't really sure why he was able to do it or how he was able to do it. And then they have this move that's similar to Moro's. I'm not exactly sure where they're trying to go with that, but maybe you're onto something by saying that he absorbs kind of the abilities of the strongest person with this Dragon Ball. And not only is he getting the power level, but also the abilities that go with it.
Could be a possibility. Leonard, you got any big brains on this one? Because I feel like my red string's out in full effect, and I'm ready to call up John Walsh from America's Most Wanted.
The only thing I really have is just that maybe they're just trying to say, "Hey, this dude's powerful," and comparing him to Moro in a sense,
Yeah.
like with just one move. Like it seems like the kind of easy way out to just say, "Yeah, he's strong." Like you don't necessarily. I feel like with Dragon Ball, you don't necessarily have to do that. You could just do it by showing the actions of what the character is doing. You don't necessarily always have to be like, "Oh, look, he did this move, he's strong," or "Look, he did this, he's strong." Like, you don't have to do that. You can just have two people fighting, and he does a very critical move, like for example, like hit. And honestly, now thinking about it, I think Granola is more like hit because if you think about it, especially with the way the chapter ended and the almost finishing blow to Goku, almost very similar to Hit.
Yeah. He's vital strikes, pressure points, vital points. And that was Hit's entire arsenal outside of his time skip.
Yeah.
but he used the time skip to hit vital points. So
Yeah. I mean, plus they're also both assassins, so or I get well, yeah, Granolah is an assassin, so I guess here and there type of things, but
Dude, how dope would it be? I know this is probably never happen. This is like my 1 in a million fucking theory wish come true. Like my Make a Wish Foundation dream is to have Hit written into this arc at some point. Like Goku
oh
gets
yeah.
killed for real, and
I just
Vegeta's
thought the
like,
same thing.
yeah, like how cool would it be if Hit was like the only guy that was able to be faster than Granolah because of his time skip? You know, that'd be dope, super dope. But I doubt that would happen, right? So I won't get too excited about it. Um, okay. Well, I guess we'll see what happens with the idea of these two motherfuckers or this one motherfucker having like the entire arsenal of powers and abilities and feats or whatever that our heroes and even previous villains have. I probably just got my tinfoil hat on, but I feel like there's a reason they keep giving us these little breadcrumbs. Oh, I don't know why I'm moving this fast. It makes no sense to me. It could just be that. It could just be like, we don't want to explain it. I'm a Kira Toriyama motherfucker. I don't have to. It could just be that, but I hope
but
it isn't.
I also thought that some of that, especially the fast movement, not really understanding why he was moving so fast, was he's not used to the strength that he possesses right now. He made a wish, and so he's not really sure how strong he actually is until he puts it into action. Maybe not. Maybe he actually does have a pretty good idea of how strong he is. But I mean, we see Goku, and anytime they get into a new form or a new transformation, they kind of have to test out their strength and their power because he's not really sure of what his limitations are yet. And maybe that's what they're alluding to here. He's extremely powerful, but he doesn't really know his own limit.
Could definitely be that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so he instant transmissions. I go between the two. What I do now, I just go between two terms for the same thing. The instantaneous movements. That's not proper grammar, Kyle. The fuck. The instantaneous movementings. Back over to Vegeta. And he says to Vegeta this moral comment, and then Vegeta's like, hey, I think I know what's going on here. Standing in the middle of an Ozuru. There's another word I can't say. Yeah. I know what it is. Tell my mouth how to say it, Leonard. Go ahead. Oziru.
Congratulations.
Zero. Oh, no, I didn't. I did it very poorly each time. Anyway, Ozaru. I'm standing in the middle of a goddamn Ozaru footprint. I think I figured out what happened here. And he tells Goku Kakarot about the stories that he heard when he was a child about a tribe of snipers that Saiyans were hired by Frieza to exterminate. This tells them about the right eye and their ability to hit the vital points or whatever. Like basically Vegeta pieces together that this dude is the last survivor of a planet or a race that the Saiyans exterminated to be able to sell the planet for Frieza. And Goku's like, that's great. Anyway, I have perfected Ultra Instinct. I still haven't tried that. I think he actually says Ultra Instinct at full power to Vegeta. And then he turned the page and he's just boom, right back in front of Granolah. And he's got the silver hair going, presumably the silver hair going in that form. And he's like, hey, this is perfected Ultra Instinct. What's up? Anyway, I can't hold this form for very long. So I got to whoop your ass real quick. Okay. Don't guff around at all, sir. I'm going to catch you real quick.
And then he needs to kick the shit out of Granolah right in the face.
Dude, some of these hits in this chapter, especially this sequence, you can just feel them. The look, the reaction on Granola's face as he's just getting the shit pounded out of him. At a certain point during this ass whooping, and I want to ask this question to you guys because I don't remember firmly. It's going to happen in the Broly movie. I don't know. He uses some kind of telekinesis to effectively just hold Granolah in the air and then just deliver like a million punches, like with the energy bursts, punches him out and just pa. But like, it was the telekinesis freezing dude in the air thing that kind of took me off guard. Is this the first time we've seen him do that with this technique, or is it not? I don't know.
So I think this is the first time we've seen him use it with Ultra Instinct, but he used something similar in his Super Saiyan God, the red form in the Broly movie, where he encapsulates Broly, stops him dead in his tracks, and then punches him, knocks him away. Which is really similar to what he does here. Granolah is attacking him from behind, and he puts his hand up across his body around his other shoulder and stops Granolah's attack from his backside, and then brings him up and over his head and has him upside down and then punches him. So it's a very similar move to what he did in the Broly movie.
Okay. So I just wanted to see if this was something that we had some kind of precedent for in terms of beats, or if this was like a new accomplishment of his power or whatever. But I guess it's kind of tough to tell from the medium of a manga based on like how he's suspended in air. Like there could be energy there that I just it's just like a couple of lines that I didn't notice. I don't know. Okay, word. I just wanted to make sure that I asked somebody about that because I thought it was notable and I wrote it down. Also one thing I kind of skipped over, Vegeta also pieced together with his knowledge that Oil and Maki have obviously been lying to them about the pretenses of which to get them to this planet. So also the big dude, who I believe is Oil, I think he's Oil. He hears it because he's got the I don't know, some kind of creeper chip on him, up in their boots or something, listening to their conversations like a creeper chip in your boot. Just wanted to make sure we pointed that out. Okay, so Goku goes back to Mastered Ultra Instinct, goes back to Granolah, whips the fucking shit out of him, and eventually hits pause on the discussion and says, hey, not even the discussion, he hits pause on the ass whooping. Say, hey man, you want to talk? We don't have to keep fighting. This drove me crazy because you already established at the beginning of this fight that you cannot hold this form for very long and you're going to have to end it very quickly. You just came out strong with a hell of an ass whooping, and now you've silenced or you've stifled your own momentum for the sake of trying to do the Goku thing of turning your villain into a good guy, and we're nowhere near the end of the arc. Why are you wasting everyone's time, Goku? Just whoop some ass, please. Did this make anyone else want to kick Goku in the head? And how happy were you when Granolah said, nah, fuck you, son, I want revenge?
No, look, I thought it was super appropriate because he says he needs to end the fight quickly, which in Goku's mind, as he's just absolutely kicked the shit out of Granolah. Granolah is laying on the ground, completely beaten. I think Goku thinks that he has beaten Granolah. Like the fight is over. He's not getting up. He's not a threat to him anymore. So Goku's doing his thing that he does to all of the villains when they're no longer a threat. He then tries to make amends, tries to be friendly with them. I think that's what they were getting at. And then we get the twist.
Stupid ass Goku. I think I'm just mad at everybody today. Let's part for the course with how I feel about things. Goku, you fucking asshole, idiot, dope, stupid. Like how I just said all that shit about Goku. Because I'm on the Vegeta train for real right now. This is it. This is our time, son. This is our time. So, Goku does his stupid Goku thing. Go figure.
Why do you do this to me?
Go figure. And then he finishes off what we think is going to be the end of Granolah, right? And suddenly, Vegeta's like, that doesn't feel like it's over. Could have sworn Kakarot just finished this up and I was about ready to go home, but strangely, this dude's power is still around. And he puts it together that the real Granolah is sitting in his GD spaceship, like right over there, somewhere pretty far over there, but and we piece it together that Granolah, Thankfully, Granolah is very forthcoming with the details about his plans as well, which I kind of like. You know, Goku's like telling him how his shit works. Granola's telling him how his shit works. Like they're having a workshop as they beat the shit out of each other. Granolah lets him know that he took or like separated off a piece of his own energy to make a clone to go and fight the Saiyans because he figured that that would be enough to take care of them. And he miscalculated with his plan. Goku's like, yeah, man, you miscalculated. It's cool. We can all be friends. He's like, no, 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 no. I didn't say that I've lost. I said I miscalculated. My bad. You better fuck off with that lost
He
shit.
didn't understand. He was like, wait, what?
Yeah. So Goku is legitimately like confused by this statement. And then the second they have this little exchange, Vegeta pieces together that, you know, what Granolah just shared with Goku. Split off of, you know, the real one is over there in the spaceship. And he yells it to him. Vegeta yells it to Goku, Kakarot, the other one's in the spaceship. And Goku, in the midst of his confusion, is like, what? I don't boom, he's dead. Or not
Almost.
dead. Basically dead.
Critical condition.
The Granolah from the spaceship did his instantaneous movement, even faster version of it, over to Goku, hit his vital point while he's asking Vegeta, what are you talking about? Boom, he's on the ground. And that's the end of Goku. He got dropped twice in this chapter, 3 times if you count the Senzu Bean last chapter. So, yeah, gee, it's not going very well for you, buddy. But you know what that means? Time for Vegeta. Vegeta step in and do his thing. So Vegeta, it's been something that's been teased, especially in the Moro arc. We thought it would have been very poetically fitting if he had been the one to defeat Frieza in the Fukatsu no F movie. No such luck. We thought it would be cool if he'd be the one to defeat Moro because he went out and learned the spirit fission technique to be able to separate out the energy. He didn't beat Moro, but he was pretty integral to actually, you know, helping the final thing come out the way it did. The way in which they've set this up, especially with these little pieces of dialogue at the end of this chapter, I realize that it definitely could just be them getting me excited to pull the rug out from under me again for the fucking millionth time. I do understand that this is a very strong possibility, but I do like the fact that 2 things happen here, okay? The first one, my buddy Craig Leonard pointed out. Vegeta steps in and does his thing, and he's like, he does his thumb thing. And he's like, you knock this fucking idiot out? All right, well, now I'm your guy that you're going to be fighting. His thumb thing, though, usually points to him. It says, I'm the one you'll be fighting now. He pointed it out that it's noticeable that instead of the thumb pointing to him being like, I'm your opponent, his thumb's pointing off to Goku being like, you just beat that idiot. Big deal. Now you have to fight me. I just thought it was a notable little tip of literally the hand here with how his thumb fucking works, right? The other thing that is noticeable to me is the way in which this dialogue goes down is Vegeta's already figured out the plan for revenge, knows that he wants to, you know, wipe out the rest of the Saiyans and have them be, you know, the person to, he wants to be the person to, you know, fully eliminate the people that wiped out his tribe, right? Now, the dichotomy between these two, right, is Granolah is the only survivor of his tribe. Goku and Vegeta are the only survivors of the Saiyan tribe, at least, you know, according to Granolah. There's Goten and Gohan and Trunks back on Earth, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The idea that they're going to be fighting for the survival, or like, not the survival, but like, they're going to be fighting the extinction of their race on either side of the coin is really interesting to me. And to have Vegeta already had foregone the opportunity to take revenge on Frieza, the person who arguably completely ruined his race, he destroyed his home planet and, you know, 99.9% of the Saiyans. To have Vegeta kind of have this other opportunity where he's facing a foe so great whose only mission in life is to destroy the Saiyans and wipe them clean from the universe, and have him be the hero to step up and stop that villain, it would be a great payoff for this arc. It would be a great payoff for Vegeta, a long overdue payoff for Vegeta. But it would also really kind of make sense. You know, it would be well deserved. Leonard, any thoughts on all the bullshit that I just rambled on?
Well, I personally think it's just going to be the Goku show again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Punked for the 798th time.
We're gonna be getting
where
Kyle and the Super Dope fam this week. Oh, you thought Vegeta was gonna win? Guess what? No, he just got a hole through the heart again.
exactly every time, and this time, I mean, do I feel a little bit hopeful? Yeah, but is it because I'm a hopeful optimistic, hopeless optimistic? Yes, I'm very much so. I'd say I'm more hopeful than Optimus Prime himself. But
Mm.
anyways, I will say this: the whole hand gestures thing. Maybe your friend has something to it. To me, I don't care. It's Vegeta's gonna get slumped again. I'm gonna be sitting here being depressed and just wondering when I'm gonna get a Vegeta win moment, and that will happen as likely as Vegeta getting his own show.
I don't know, man. I think it's notable that Vegeta has this whole differentiate. Oh, that's another actual example of Granolah copying the feats of the people in universe when they make a comment last chapter that he's got the Hakai. Basically, what he does is the equivalent of Hakai, because Vegeta can comment on it because he knows how to use it. But the differentiation of the training that Goku's getting and the training that Vegeta's getting, the constant commentary about, why are you fucking around in that form? It's distracting you, blah, 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 blah. And Vegeta to be able to come in quiet, confidently, maybe use his God of Destruction training to put an end to this person. I don't know. Um, the possibility of that it seems more likely than ever. But it's also kind of a graduated version from what we had going on in the Moro arc too. Like he learned a new technique with the spirit fission thing. So it could just be another, thought up version of that. One thing I did think of that I wrote down here, I didn't ask you guys. When Granolah says that he borrows power from himself or like pulls power off of himself to be able to make a copy because he wants to keep his true body fresh for Frieza, which by the way, we'll get there in a sec. Do you guys think that there is any kind of repercussions to making these clones? Like we know that he had to condense his remaining 150 years to be able to like have his body be able to handle this new power that he's got. So now he's got about 3 years left of his life to be peeling off basically pieces of power, chunks of his power to be able to make copies of himself. Is that taking away from his 3-year timeline at all, or am I thinking about this entirely too much?
I think that's logical. I think that's a logical statement. I think the technique that he's using is very reminiscent of like a multi-form technique.
Yeah,
When
split
you
form.
split
Yeah, for
off,
sure.
when you split off, you're losing your strength in all of your forms, but you're able to do multiple things. I think he's just kind of perfected that to where he can just split off a very small amount of his power at this point. I don't necessarily know if the amount of power that he pulled off. We still don't know the extent of his power in general. So we don't know if what he did split off is half. Is it a quarter? Is it a 16th? We don't really know. So, but I do think it is a logical conclusion to come up with the idea that splitting some of that power off will have a negative impact on him later on.
Yeah, whether that be through the power that he's got access to when he finally fights somebody else in his real body, Vegeta coming up next month, presumably, or if it shortens the amount of time that he's got to be able to utilize his power. Leonard, what do you think, dude? Also, why are you in the dark? I miss you. I want to see you so much better.
Ah, work hard.
Turn a fucking light on? Yeah, so hard. Cool posters.
Yeah,
man.
I have to reach my arm. It looks weird. It looks like I'm doing something that was done, when there was a guy with a smaller mustache and stuff. So I didn't want to do that respectfully. Anyways,
Respectfully.
but I don't necessarily know what to think of that. I kind of agree with Miras Woods at this point, in regards to that, but I don't think it really has a negative connotation, or at least not yet.
Yeah, I
I
mean, we have to
think-
see how his true form deals against Vegeta next month, and
Right.
see if he makes some kind of comment like, "Oh, I gave too much power to that other clone" or whatever. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the way that they may play it out is they will put it to a point where maybe Vegeta and him are really fighting and everything seems to be going well. And then all of a sudden Frieza.
Yeah, Frida Carlo.
Frida the Frieza. Frieza is on the planet and he's looking at the Cerulean and Saiyan fight.
Yeah, so that actually kind of brings me to what I think might be a recurring segment for the next few months. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But it's called
Hey, where the fuck Frieza at?
Boy, shut your mouth when I tell you about making all that daggone noise!
because, again, we have not seen Frieza in the manga since the Tournament of Power, man. All right, he was not involved in Moro at all. He's been referenced very heavily in this Granolah arc. Broly, he was in that story, but that wasn't really in the manga so much, so that doesn't really count. What has Jude been getting up to? Is he gonna show up? Where the fuck's he at? Who has a guess on
I don't
where?
think he shows up.
You don't think he shows up at all? You just
I
think
don't
he's
think he shows
referenced
up at
and
all.
this whole fight happens in his honor, basically?
I don't think he shows up at all. I think he is just the name and the catalyst that drives everything else that's happening. So he has a connection to the Heaters, he's got a connection to the Saiyans, and a connection to the Cerulean. I think that's it. I think he is just the one thread that ties them all together, and it's just his name.
Could be it, but I'd also like him to. I'd also like for him to show up with like a crazy new, more powerful army, like a
I'd
new
love
version
to
of
see
like the
if
Ginyu
maybe he's
Force,
been-
and then there's like a
maybe he's
fucking
been
planet
off
naming thing going
training
on.
his ass off or something. Maybe he comes
Could
in
be.
with, a whole different.
This is
gold-
Silver Frieza.
Yeah, he comes in platinum Frieza or whatever. Who knows?
Bling 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 bling, ching ching bling bling.
He just literally has a bunch of chains on him. I am Platinum Frieza. I feel
Yeah.
like Frieza's the type of person that would just go and say the N-word with the hard R out of nowhere.
Frieza shows up with just a grill.
And he's just
Look,
uses
he's
the N-word
iced
like
out,
it's nothing.
His name is Frieza. He's iced out. He's showing up with a diamond chain and a grill.
Exactly.
Okay, so Marcus thinks he won't show up at all. I think that he's gonna show up and bail out his Saiyan buds. And Leonard thinks that he's gonna show up decked out in chains and grills. That's not my racist projection onto Leonard's stereo. It's not
No,
my
that was
racist
what I
projection
said.
onto your answer. That's actually what you said. So.
And he goes around saying the hard R like it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, he can get away with it.
He calls them monkeys all the time. He's like monkey, monkey, monkey.
You think that the royal family don't walk around dropping casual M bombs in Buckingham Palace?
Oh, no,
Frieza is
Vegeta
basically
definitely does.
Space Queen Elizabeth. So
See, Vegeta is like King Vegeta and then Prince Vegeta the Third. See, there's a difference, but King Vegeta, he's the one who's like, yeah, like those things are true, but I'm not gonna say it. Prince Vegeta's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna call you racist. I'm gonna call you racist. I'm gonna be racist to my own race. Y'all racist, and I'm racist.
wow, we're talking a lot about racisms.
Hit
What
my hat
about
off.
what about Namekians? Are they black people too?
I didn't say they were black people.
Oh, I don't know. I'm asking, man. I'm trying to get some clarification.
Namekian are green people. They're people who are the color green. They are
Oh.
Namekians.
It's my fault. I'm colorblind.
I was glad I was able to wake you up. Now your third eye is open. You're TN now. Congratulations. You went from Kyle the farmer with the shotgun to Kyle as TN.
Woke as fuck. Where do I get my little baby Chaozu to eat the endromorphin, whatever?
Oh, you
the
already blew him
adrenochrome
up.
endorphins?
You already blew him up, so it's too late.
Oh.
That was
Yo.
fun.
Speaking of Tien and Chaozu, actually, perfect segue. And that's the end of our segment called
Hey, where the fuck Frieza at?
Boy, shut your mouth when I
But speaking of Tien and Chaozu, the next movie that we're watching in the Discord for the live streams believe it's going to be this coming Saturday. What's the date on Saturday? Anybody? The 25th? Is that right?
26.
26th. All right. So Saturday the 26th, if you're hearing this on Thursday, we're going to be doing our next Discord live stream for a Dragon Ball movie. We're going to be watching Dragon Ball Mystical Adventure, which is a reimagining of the introduction of Tien and Chaozu and the Red Ribbon Army and Tao Pai Pai and the Crane Hermit and all that shit. So Saturday night, we're shooting for that one. I watched it the other night. Some real wacky shit, but I'll tell you one thing that is intact. It's the love story between Tien and Chaozu. It's fucking adorable. So, if you're on the Discord, the link in the show notes. Go join. We had some guy join this week who's been a long-term listener. Goes by the name of Cygnus. But and that's not like to be confused with a Disturbed song, The Sickness. Oh,
Are you down with the sickness?
Yeah. It's not like that. It's like Cygnus, like CYG Nus.
Look, I'm down with Cygnus.
Ooh, but like I'm doing a pretty good job at figuring out who's who, you know? Like at least people giving me names if they want.
I'm down with Ligma.
Yeah, good one, Leonard. I haven't heard that fucking thing way too many times over the last 2 years. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out who this dude is. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Do we know you from any of the groups? He's like, nah. I'm like, oh, word. How'd you find
Goku?
How'd you find the group? He's like, I just been listening to your show for a really long time. I'm like, oh, cool, man. All right.
Hey, it's me, Goku.
See, everyone else got fucking first names in here. Let us know who you at.
Watch him be like Sean Schemmel.
It's not Sean Schemmel. Sean Schemmel had actually nothing but mean things to say to me when I met him in person. So that's why we raffled off his pop that year at Comic-Con for our trivia contest. All right. That's basically gonna. Oh yeah, join the Discord. All right, link in the show notes. Cygnus, tell us who you are. Ooh, wah. That's gonna be it. Okay. Guys, any final thoughts for chapter 73 or before we wrap it up here?
So before we get out of here too far, I do have one thing that I wanted to go back to the very ending where we saw Vegeta stepping in, saying that he was bringing the Ceruleans into extinction. And I think we are missing one important parallel that's gone throughout this entire thing. Vegeta has been training under the god of destruction. Vegeta then tells the Cerulean that he is going to be putting the Ceruleans into extinction. This is the next step in Vegeta becoming a destroyer.
About to destroy your whole fucking race. I don't care if there's only one of you, you granola bitch. Watch this. Okay.
He's basically going to be destroying the entire race without having to blow up a planet.
What a guy. Baby steps, you know? On the road to being a Hakaishin, you got to make sure you take the baby steps in between. You erase a race, but you don't erase a whole race all at once. You erase like one dude who's like the lone survivor of his race, and then you get that merit badge. And then next time it's like there's a village of fucking, survivors that your people fucked up, the rest of their population, and there's only like 5 of them left. Now you got to go erase all 5 of them, and then you just work up incrementally to being, Lord Beerus's replacement, and then he retires or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And do we still have any idea who Oatmeal is in all of this?
I was thinking the same thing earlier, actually. I didn't write it down, but is Oatmeal a drop plot thread? Is it meant to just be the AI in his head that a bunch of us considered early on, or are we meant to forget about him and see if he shows up, or her, or I don't even know if we got a confirmation on a gender, but yeah, what the fuck up, Oatmeal? Where you at? Where the fuck Oatmeal at?
Maybe he's with Raisin.
I don't think that's the joke, man.
And then they could be with another friend called Cookie. They're a great triplet.
Oh, man, Leonard. All right, word. We're going to finish this shit up. How's the song go? It goes, make sure you check out Leonard on the NPC pod. Go check them out wherever you get your podcasts. Marcus, you're pretty much just on this podcast, so congratulations.
I'm here.
Make sure you rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, Apple Podcasts. If you want to leave a review, that shit is helpful, and I'll read it. Go ahead, throw some big words in there. I'll fucking sound them out real slow. Real sexy, too. So yeah, go do that. Facebook page. It's a new thing. Go find that at Super Dope Pods. Join the Discord. Watch along Saturday night for that weird Tien and Chaozu movie. Chapter 73 was a ball. Yo. Can't wait for 74. Dropping July 21st, I believe. So, probably getting a repeat next week. Don't know. See? And then we're going to start dropping the movies that we've been recording the last few weeks. So be on the lookout for that. Okay, word. This has been a great time. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Woo! Thanks.
Toot up! America's birthday is on the way. And that's why I take a vacation. Though it's probably going to be a repeat, and I might like do a little thing in the beginning. We'll see how I feel. Wow.
Happy birthday, America.